Right, if you're looking for a bait boat that can do whatever you want to chuck it into, then this is the review for you. This is a no bull, honest review. It's been tried, tested, used and abused in England, in France, in more ways than what you can imagine. It's gone under overhanging willow trees. It's been in reeds at night time. I've done weight tests, speed tests. This is an in-depth review of this boat. Right, this is the CARPING V70 bait boat. Been using this for a few weekends now, and I brought it out here for a week in France on this lake. And this is going to be an ideal bait boat if you're looking for something between England and France. Don't want too big, don't want too small. This fits right in the middle, it's perfect. So I'll just show you around it. Down this side you have a battery hopper here. There's two of them, one each side, so it runs off two batteries. On the back you have a hook release system here. You have two LEDs, they're blue. On the front they're white. They come in, you have it off, low and high. On the back, on the top here, you have a adapter for a bait throw, which is a separate thing. And then you have the one here, which is for this. This basically fits on the back like this. Just slips on, plugs in there. And then what it does is allows you to use PVA bags. I'll show you that more in detail in a little bit later. On this side, again, you have another battery hopper here. And then this is the aerial. You get supplied with two aerials. This is the foldable one. And then there is another one, which is a little short, stubby one. And then on the front, you have two more LEDs. They're white on the front. Let's say they're quite bright. I'm going to do a video so you can see how bright they are at night. So that's going around. Let's have a look at the top. Right, from the top, as you can see, here's your battery cover. The nice thing about these is they're magnetic, they're 4 magnets. And your battery fits in there, plugs in nice and easy. It's nice and stable. This here is quite a nice little feature. Basically, when this sits on there, it creates like a little sort of gutter system. So if the water does come in, it goes into this channel and runs out these two slots here, so it doesn't go into your battery compartment. As you can see, that fits nice and tight, look, doesn't come off. So on the top you have a handle. The handle can twist from side to side. You also have in here a divider which separates your hoppers. So if you can see, these just click up lovely. You know when these are up, there's no messing around with them. They click up like that. And then on the back you have an on-off switch, which is a nice switch. You can't catch it so much when you go under trees, like some bait boats will turn the power off and then you're knackered, you can't get your boat out. This is for a bait throw, that's an optional extra, we won't go into that. And then this in here is for the tail hopper. I'll just show you how that goes on. So basically what you do is you plug it in, slip it on, and that allows you to put a PVA bag in there, and then this drops and it just falls out. Just so it brings it up so it's higher out of the water, so that if it is a really windy, splashy day, then that way what happens is it's keeping the water away from your PVA bag, so you can just drop it out when you get there. Nice and easy to operate, dead simple. Forward, reverse, left and right, and then this one is left hopper, right hopper, and then you have up to let, I think it's to let the PVA bag out and down for the hook release. So it's nice and simple. Basically always turn this on first, just make sure that's in the center, and then you turn the boat on. It flashes to let you know it's on. It's got a power light here, that's red, and all the LEDs flash to let you know it's on. So like I say, when it's just forward and backwards. I'm not going to start it up because you know what forwards and backwards is, but as you can see with the hopper, look, there's no messing around, they release. I've had hoppers where they're angled and the bait can sometimes wedge itself in. These are quite straight down. I haven't yet, all the times I've been using it, had come back and the bait is still in the hopper, like some boats I've used. So yeah, that's the top bit and the operations. It's dead simple, dead easy. Straight out of the bag, you can just charge the batteries and just use it. Nice and easy. Right, so I'll show you the tail hopper. Basically just take the little grommet out, pick up your hopper, point the V towards the front, take your lead, plug it in, slip it on the back, and you're good to go. So you put your PVA bag in here, leader over the top, and then when you get to where you want, you just press up on your right hand, on your left hand control, and it falls out. I mean, you could put boilies in here if you wanted, or anything else like that. If you know, you don't have to be a PVA bag, but I think that's what it's designed for, because it's higher up off the boat, so you don't get no splashing in of all the water. Right, so what I'll do is I'll just show you the lights on the back. So there's your two back lights. So that's off, that's on low, and that's on high. Bear in mind this is daylight, I will show you them in the dark. So off, we'll just spin it round, and we will show you the two front ones. One there, one there. Again, off, low, and high. So you can see a nice sloppy spud mix. It just drops straight out. And once again, that drops, no problem. This is an underwater shot of the bait being released from what you just saw from above. That's the first hopper, and then the next one is the second hopper. Right, so just to show you again, once it's all connected up, basically it's just up on the wrist there, and it releases it. So we'll close it, we'll put the PVA bag in, there, have the line or leader coming through there, and then we'll put it in the water and show you. So there you can see in the hopper, push the remote, down it drops. So this is at night, you can see I'm just gently just nudging it towards the tree. This is with the lights on full. There you go, low beam and off, low beam and on. And there you can see, even with the back, it illuminates the trees. You can see how bright these lights are. This is it just spinning around, so it gives you an idea of how it lights up the trees. And here we are nuzzling into just a little tiny few little reeds. Clearly see it. Such great lights these are for nighttime work. And there you can see again the backs are nearly as bright as the front. So this is it. This camera was only about 2 foot below the water, but this gives you an idea of the tight turning circle. I just thought I'd show it from underneath. You can see it more or less keeps within the camera. And in this next video you can see it in reverse. Just shows you the power. So coming to the end of the week now, so I've been, like I said earlier on in the thing, been using it for a couple of weekends and brought it out here to France. Now, Sharon and Craig from Horncastle Angling supplied the boat to me, turned around and said, take it to France, use and abuse it. Not abuse it, but you put it through its tests and give my honest opinion. So here is my honest opinion. If you're looking for an all-rounder, UK and abroad, not too big, not too small, one boat does it all, then this is the boat. Can't fault it. It's been fantastic all week. I've used all the hoppers, both the middle ones obviously and the rear one, not the rear one so much, but I have used it. The lights are great at night, so I've got one right out in a reed bed, and I could just, all I did was going over to the reed bed on low beam. I was getting to the reed bed, flick it onto main beam, I could see it, nuzzle it into the reeds until the reeds started moving, because the lights were so bright I could see the reeds moving, back off a bit, drop the bait. Fantastic. The lights are really bright, I'll just warn you of that. I've put it more or less into the reeds as well to see how it was. It went in and come out fine. The weeds guards work fine. I think because of the shape of the boat, it seems to push away like a channel into the reeds a bit, but then when it comes back out, it's you have to look at it, go in store and have a look at it. It's a really nice shape. Right, so the other things are, I've gone over to, as you'll see here now, the little I don't know what you call it, little stubby flexible aerial. I was using the foldable one, but I broke it. It was my fault, nothing to do with the boat at all. I broke it, so I had to go onto the stubby one. I actually now prefer the stubby one though. Yes, I probably will have to take it on and off to put in the bag. So yeah, it's really good. What I will say to you is, if you've never used a boat before, they are really easy to use. It is such a simple thing to use, this one. You've got no massive aerials out here to catch. It's great, but it's just forward, back, side to side, left and right, and then you've just got like this, the hoppers and that this side. It's so easy to use. Now, one thing I will say, this boat is fast, and I mean fast. So when you're going out to your spot, yes, you can power up and get out there quick if you want. What I'd recommend you do is, before you get to your spot, slow it down to about half speed, and then you've got so much maneuverability, it's unreal. And it turns on a sixpence either way. If you get into trouble, if you're going somewhere and you think, oh god, I'm in trouble, just hit that reverse and it just backs off. It's like, I don't know, it's like a dragster hitting a parachute. It just stops it instantly. So yeah, really good boat. And I personally think this will be now my boat of choice to use in the UK, and when I go lucky enough to go abroad. So look forward to using it more. I've got a few more tests to do on it. As you can see here, this is used and abused, as you can see. I mean, I've now got to try and clean it. I haven't brought it like for some people, they bring them to photo shoots and they use it and polish it to make it look good for camera. No, I've used this and used it what it's meant to be used for, and it's done it no problem. There's been no water in the hoppers, and it's been absolutely hammered down with rain. And we had a little bit of a chop on the water one day. The water was coming up over the front a bit. Still no water in the hoppers because of this gully system. So yeah, it's done really good. Now, when I came out, I was a bit, whether the batteries would last me a week. They said it would. I haven't even charged it, and it's not even showing signs of being flat yet. Now, I'm not fishing big distances, but I've been told you can do 3 rods twice a day, 100 yards each rod, and that will do the whole, the one set of batteries will do the whole week. Before I came out, I was, you know, sometimes people say, no, it would do it. I know it would do it. I'd have confidence in it, no problem doing that. Right, so for this test, we're going to use 15mm boilies. I'm going to take out the actual centre divider. We don't need that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the hopper, and I'm going to just fill it level with the top. So we have 15mm boilies, and we'll start loading them in. That's filled level. I could probably get some more in there, but I'm just going roughly level. I'm going to drop it into the tray underneath, and then what I do is I'm going to weigh this bag on the scales, and then I shall put the boilies into the bag, and we'll see exactly what it does hold. So we'll just drop it now. This could go everywhere. What I'll do now is I'll take this off. As you can see, there they are. I'll now put them in the bag and we'll weigh them. Okay, so for this one, what we'll do is, again, centre dividers out. What I'm going to do is just fill it with the big pellets to start with. That's fairly level. And what we'll do, just for a test, this could go wrong, but we'll do it for a test just to prove how good these hoppers are. I'm pushing these down, so they're now wedged in. So hopefully these don't go all over the floor when I drop them. Hopefully they stay in the table so we can weigh them. So let's test it. I'll drop one side of the gate hopper first and see how much drops. Look at that, look, that's just one hopper, so one side of the hopper open. Last one. So they nearly all go out. So it's not unlike some boats where they can just wedge in. So what I'll do now is I'll weigh this and we'll see what that comes out at. Right, now for this one we'll use the micro pellets. This is the one I'm dreading because this could go all over the YouTube studio floor. So these are the micro pellets. So there you can see it's nice and full. I could probably get a little bit more in there. That's probably not complete. Let's just put a little bit more in, just to, you know, let's say if we're going to do it, let's do it properly. So there you go. Double check that is sitting over that table, and hopefully it catches it all. Right, and we drop it. We'll drop one side first, and again there you can see it's nearly all fell out just dropping one hopper. Make sure we do a genuine test. I think that's a sort of levelish full hopper. So again, what we'll do, there it is full, drop the hopper into the bag. So for this one, let's do exactly the same but with some micro pellets. Probably going to be similar sort of amount of weight, but you know, just gives you an idea. We're going to do a test, let's do it properly. I think that's fairly level. Again, what we'll do, release that into the bag and then we'll weigh it. Same again, 15mm boilies. We'll just see how many of the hopper holes we'll fill it. Give it a good. I know it's designed for the PVA, but we'll just fill it with boilies and see how much that holds. There you go. I think get a couple more in there. It'd be sort of. That's sort of a really good load for that. So what we do, we take the remote, flick the switch. Right, what I'm going to show you for this one is I'm going to replace the blanking plate in the hopper, like so. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to fill both sides with the micro pellets. And then what we'll do is we'll release them separate, just to prove that they don't all fall out when that is in and it does its job. I'll just fill it level with the there we go, with the blanking plate, because it doesn't need to be thick. There we go. So that now you can see that you have the blanking plate in, that side hopper, this side hopper full. So when we release it now, one should drop and one should stay in. So if you're doing two spots, you can do one spot with one hopper and one spot with the other. Whereas when we just done it a minute ago, it all dropped out because I didn't have the blanking plate in. So what I'll do is I'll just twist this over. Hopefully you can see that. So we'll drop the hopper first. And there you go. This hopper's still all full, look, none dropping out there at all. So it does its job. So then what you do is you've dropped that over one rod. You can now shoot off to your other rod. And then when you get to your other rod, drop that one over there, come back. Put the tail hopper on if you want to do 3 rods at a go, so you can have rod number 1 in there, rod number 2 in there, rod 3 in there, so you can bait all 3 rods with just one boat trip. So on the speed test I did 4 of these and it was averaging around 2.6 to 3.2 knots. Okay, so when the boat power reduces to 30%, the red power indicator, which is this one here, will come on. You can still use the boat for about 15 minutes. When the power reduces to 20%, the remote controller will give out an alarm, and the power indicator will start to flicker. At this time, you really need to get the boat back and get it fully charged again. The remote controller is powered by 4 AA size batteries. When the power of the remote controller reduces to 30%, the power alarm will be given out. When the power reduces to 20% or under 20%, you've got to change the batteries of the remote controller. Right, you'll see on one of the battery doors it says charge and point. Now what you can do is take that off. As you can see here, the battery is connected, but you can charge without taking the batteries out. You just charge through this one here and leave the batteries in. I always take mine out and charge it because it lasts so long. I never need to charge it in there. Whilst transporting as well the boat, you have to take the batteries out. You can't transport it with the batteries in. Right, the batteries, like I've already said, they're really good. They last a long while. Now, when you finish using the boat, give it a wash down, give it a clean, dry it off. I let mine all air dry before I pack it away. Now, with the batteries, what you want to do is you want to charge them, and then we're ready for obviously when you go again. But if you don't charge them and you leave them for a long period of time, it can damage the batteries. So if you're using it every other week or once a month or something, that's fine, charge it and go. If you're putting it away for, say, let's say winter, then you need to charge the batteries every 2 to 3 months. If you don't, even though you're not using it, it can damage the batteries. And these are really good batteries, as you saw in the video earlier. They last a long while. As you can see, it can get you out of trouble when you hit that reverse. It's like hitting a brake. It can turn on the sixpence, so we'll do that now. As you can see, it just stays on that circle. Don't deviate off it at all. And if we do the other way, as you can see, a nice tight little circle. Right, so there you have it. If you've stuck around till here, you must be impressed with it as well. I am. Absolutely love this boat. It's fantastic. I've used lots of boats over the year, and this is right up there with them. I've used good ones, I've used bad boats, but this is right up there with the good ones. I would love to try the GPS and fish finder. That might come in as another review later on once I can afford it. But is there anything I would change about it? There's only two things really, and they're so minor, and one of them really is a personal preference. Now, the one thing I would change about it, if possible, is the batteries can be a bit of a fiddle to get in and out. Once you work out how to do it, it's okay, but if there was some way they could just make it a little bit easier just to get the batteries out, but it's just a tiny little niggle that you get used to. The one I would like to change, and I might look into this going forward, is on the forward, reverse and left and right. If you flick the left to the left or right to the right, it pings back to the centre. On the forward and reverse, if you push it all forward, it stays right forward wherever you put it. If you push it back, it stays back where you put it. So what you can do, some people like this because they could drop their bait, turn it around, liner, turn it around, and then what they could do is they could push it forward and it can come back to them while they're setting the rod. That's great if you like that. Personally, I prefer to have it so whichever way you do it, it springs back to the middle every time, and it's just a personal preference, but I'm sure there's people out there who'd prefer it how it is. And it's a tiny little thing, you get used to it, and let's say it can be a bit of a bonus in some ways because you can set it coming back to you slowly if you're on a big water, and it'll just creep back to you while you're setting your rods. So yep, that's what I think about it. I absolutely love it. I think this is going to be my #1 boat from now on. It's great in UK, it's great in France, small waters, big waters, little bait, lot of bait, 1 hopper, 2 hopper, 3 hopper. You've got so many options, and then with the optional extras of the bait throw, you've got that, you've got GPS, and you've got fish finder. Right, so there is one other thing I'm going to do. I'm having made a little cover for the rear tail hopper where it holds the PVA. It's a great idea, I like it. I don't use it loads, but I do like it. Now when I was using it in France one day, it was raining, and obviously the PVA it was hammering down, not raining, and the PVA would have melted before it got out there. So I basically clipped a little bag on there and just it got me through the day. But I've now been in touch with somebody and they're going to make me a little cover that just slips over the top. So even if it's pouring the rain, you can put your PVA bag in there, send it out to the spot, and you know you're dropping the PVA bag straight into the water and it's not dissolved before you get there. So once I get that done and made, I might do a little review on that and show you that. Right, I'd just like to say a big thanks to Craig and Sharon at Horncastle Angling in Lincolnshire. You'll see it down in the corner or along the bottom. If you're interested in this boat, give them a shout. They've got them in stock, and you can do mail order, you can go on their website. Thanks to them for trusting me to do this review for them. It's been a pleasure. I've absolutely loved the boat, and if you're close to them, get into the shop, go and have a look at it, have a feel of it, see it in person, see the size, see the shape, see it all. It's a great bit of kit. So yeah, thanks to them. Thanks for watching, and more reviews to come soon.